You believe that blasters are clumsy and random. You favor an elegant weapon from a more civilized time. You are a sock ninja! Alright, you scum, suit up! If you have not already watched the Units, Roles, and Loadouts Primer or the General Advice video, please pause the video and go watch them now. The links will be in the description. As far as I'm aware, socks have been part of HVZ since the beginning, and therefore, so has the sock ninja. I don't actually know where the term sock ninja was originally coined, but it refers to anyone who chooses to only use throwable weapons in an HVZ. And given that HVZ was formed back when the Maverick was the height of Nerf technology, it's not surprising that some people may have simply opted to go with a bag of socks instead. How good you are, how functional you're going to be, how effective you're going to be, it really comes down to your ability to carry enough socks and how good you are at throwing them. Now obviously you don't have to only use socks. Many games allow plenty of other throwable options: foam stress balls, foam balls, stuffed animals. That's going to vary from game to game, so make sure you check the rules of your game to see what kind of throwables they allow. So let's take a look at some various throwables. The first obvious one is, of course, the sock. Now what you're allowed to do to the socks also varies from game to game. This one's been rolled up and then duct taped. Some schools I have played at don't allow the duct tape. It has to just be a sock that has been rolled up, but they will generally have a guide on how to best properly fold your sock, and there exists some online on how to fold the sock so that it is dense enough to throw and won't fall apart. If they allow you to wrap tape, I would recommend like athletic tape over duct tape, but whatever you prefer. Check the rules for the game you're going to, and then work out what is the most optimal sock for your design and for your loadout. Your loadout may actually favor one sock design or one throwing weapon design over another as far as storage goes. It is requested that you use clean socks. That's kind of a common courtesy thing. Where they are allowed, I have some squishy foam grenades. They're like stress ball grenades. I do not remember where I got them, probably Amazon or some stress ball company. They look like they're supposed to have a logo on them, but mine don't have logos. I picked up 4 of them many years ago, and I have so far managed to always recover them. But not all places are going to want you to be throwing something that looks like a grenade, so there are more thematic options. Foam heart. Body parts are always, you know, amusing to be flinging at zombies. But one of my favorites is the foam brain, and I'm pretty sure at least one group, they acquired a whole bunch of these to give out to new players. They were all given a foam brain as their starting weapon, as it were. Very thematically appropriate, because you can do things like, hey zombie, see the brain? See the brain? Go get the brain! And then tag them, or run away, whatever. The zombies that chase the brain, those are the ones that are the good players that you want to, you know, play with, because they're playing along and it's fun. If they don't feel like it, oh well, what have you. Some schools will also allow things just like stuffed animals, as long as they don't have like hard plastic eyes or what have you. Again, check the rules, see what is and isn't allowed. Obviously the key to this loadout is being able to carry enough socks. So let's look at some ways to carry socks. Cargo pants! Obviously, this would actually be a super low-profile option, either wearing like khaki cargo pants or cargo shorts, because it would make it easy to blend into a campus, because some of these games are played during the school year, or you know, even in the summer, there's generally going to be people on campus. And while you are required to wear your armband, and you should never not wear your armband, if your armband is on this side and a group of zombies are on that side, and all you're wearing is cargo pants with socks in them, they might not notice you, and you might be able to sneak on by. That's part of the whole ninja part of this, is the sneakiness. Because you don't have a blaster that's going to make any kind of noise. Even springers and stringers make noise. Socks really don't make a lot of noise. So you have silence and stealth on your side. But for those of you who don't believe in stealth, let's look at some sillier options. A bucket! Bucket full of socks. A slightly larger bucket full of socks. An even larger bucket full of socks. This is starting to get out of hand. Hello? Hello? Help! A suitcase! My sock! Alright, let's look at some slightly less silly option. good old dump pouch that I recommend everybody have. They'll actually hold a surprising number of socks, and if you're able to recover them, you might not need more than the one. Kind of up to you, but definitely would allow you to be completely unencumbered and just run about and have your hands free and all of that. So, however, if you want more can definitely be had. Now I've got 2 in the front, 2 in the legs, 2 in the back, all the sock storage in all of the land. But there's still real estate available. Now we're getting there. Get you here. They're multiplying. Eat the sock. Eat it. You had to know this one was going to come up eventually. If you take the center divider out of AA K pouches, they will actually hold socks quite nicely. And so this would work, and then wouldn't be ridiculously heavy. This one does, of course, still have the pistols, and true sock ninja purists would say you're not truly a sock ninja if you have any kind of blaster on you, but, you know, whatever works for you. The most effective sock ninja I have ever personally seen in combat was the legendary Sock Guy from the University of Idaho. He simply ran with a bag strapped in front of him. Like that. And he would just pull out handfuls and handfuls of socks. Apparently he was carrying like 120 pairs of socks or something ridiculous. We rescued him during a mission once. They backed him into a corner, and there was just this ring of socks around him, and he had, I think, 2 socks left when we came around the corner and wiped out the zombies and helped him gather up all his socks and make a run for it. It was absolutely magnificent. I think he did end up going down before the end of that mission, but he was awarded the vaunted Colonel Badass Award at the ending game ceremonies and got a foam chainsaw, which was just awesome. A last word on weaponry. If they are allowed, sock ninjas should definitely carry melee. Now, most HVZs don't allow melee, and in my opinion, shouldn't allow melee. I sure love it when they do, but I really think they shouldn't. Everyone should have melee, but sock ninjas especially, I would recommend having melee. And again, if a school actually allows it, if a game actually allows melee in HVZ, you're going to need to check their rules to find out what kinds of melee are allowed. Do they only allow Nerf? Do they not allow Nerf? Do they have to be, full amp guard specifications? Will they allow this is just coreless, thick EVA foam? Would they allow that? It's going to be different from game to game, so find out. But sock ninjas, definitely I feel, can carry melee and still stick to their sock ninja roots. All right, so to sum up, yes, sock ninja is kind of silly, but that's kind of the beauty of it. One of the nice things about HVZ is you don't have to take it seriously. You can go with a completely ridiculous loadout and have a good time. And often the people who go with a ridiculous loadout have the most fun because they went in with a ridiculous, carefree, fun attitude, and that's actually really, really cool. But there are actually some extreme advantages to the sock ninja. You don't have to worry about running out of batteries, your blaster jamming, magazine running dry when you didn't realize it. They're silent. Even springers make noise. As I said earlier, you can be real quiet as a sock ninja, which, is probably where that name originated. There are also some game advantages because games like PSU, their first mission is thrown weapons only. And since they're hosting End War this year, End War 2020, Mission 1 might be thrown weapons only, at which point the sock ninjas will keep us all alive. So I recommend everyone having lots of socks, having that element of sock ninja in all of your loadouts. Carry enough socks that if you really needed, you could fulfill the role of sock ninja until you ran out of socks. How effective you're going to be really comes down to how good you are at throwing socks. It comes down to your hand-eye coordination and how well you're able to draw additional socks and how many you're able to carry. So it's gonna vary from person to person. The other advantage of sock ninja is that there are some HVZs where you have to have heavier ammunition to take out certain super zombies. And socks almost always qualify as a heavy ammunition because of the inherent disadvantages, range and rate of fire and all of that. So the sock ninja is actually kind of an inherent member of the auxiliary's Omega Squad, which is useful. It's a good idea to have at least one dedicated member of the Omega Squad in every squad. Every unit should have at least one dedicated super zombie killer, which is what Omega Squad is. People who are running all Mega or all Rockets or all Socks, that's what Omega Squad is. And the sock ninjas are inherently a part of that if there are, super zombies that take that. And they have that added advantage of being very, very quiet, and also underestimated. I've noticed that the super zombies tend to forget that socks are a thing and that socks can stun them, and so they rush the person who doesn't look like they're heavily armed, doesn't have any mega or rockets, and then take a sock to the chest, and it's like, oh yeah, and off they go. So there is that extreme advantage to being a sock ninja. There is definitely a place for you, and the speed and the stealth that it provides can definitely make you a valuable member, even though you're running what most people might consider a very silly loadout. And I embrace silly loadouts. I look forward to seeing all the silly loadouts that people come up with. I also look forward to seeing all of the more optimized loadouts based on some of the advice I've given or other people's experience of things that they've tinkered with and practiced with and worked out that this is what really works for me. I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of that. But I also look forward to seeing sock ninjas on the battlefield being underestimated by everybody and just wrecking. It'll be neat. All right, I look forward to seeing you all on the battlefield. Bangarang!